Hello and welcome to Dadnamic. We are finally back in unusual circumstances. To my other screen is the bearded maestro, the man who is so cold in winter he has to wear a hat indoors. It is Mr. Luke Lyons. How are you, Luke?
Remarkably average. How are you, sir?
Remarkably good. Thank you very much. And
Good.
in my other screen, I have the man. Right, where do we go with this one? The man.
Over this one.
How many words?
I'm trying to be nice here.
Be nice.
The man who they believe has the cure to coronavirus in his fingers, but they can't quite find what part of his finger it is. Mr. Nathan, how are you, Nathan?
I'll be fine.
He's downtrodden after that one.
See that there they are. There they are. Those incredibly long things of his. We're lucky. Lucky Gabby is all about length and not about girth, isn't she?
All right, Home Alone.
We're starting off easy.
We'll finish hard.
Perfect. Well,
Did you have a haircut for this, Paul?
Have I had a haircut for this? No. Funny enough, the barbers are closed. All I've done is washed it.
Make a change.
That's what it is.
It's that time of the year. Thought I'd get out of the way in January, and then I can worry about it next year. Perfect. Well, on the subject of the fact that the barbers are closed and that we're having to do this on Zoom, how are you finding lockdown? Let's start with Mr. Luke. How are you finding lockdown?
Speaking honestly, it actually hasn't affected me much. I think because it's, we're all key workers. We all have to go to work. We all have to go and do these things. I didn't go out and do. I don't go to a barber. That's very evident. But I don't. Yeah, I think the hardest part is just the fact that, with your kids at the weekend, you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going out for a rave, I'm going to go and just chill here. The highlight of the weekend is just going to Asda, it's going shopping or whatever. It's not like we can actually go out and do anything. But apart from that, it hasn't affected me. Apart from I go to work, I still come home, I try and stay away from people, but I didn't really want to speak to people in the first place.
You are the antisocial lord, isn't you?
Well, this is why I grew the beard. People will just sit there and think, God, he looks weird, and then they don't come in.
It worked with Izzy. I remember the time you tried to pick her up and she just stared at it for a little while as if to say, it's round the wrong way. It's meant to be on top.
It was funny you should say this, right? So I've got the shaved head because it doesn't grow. And the other week, I hadn't quite shaved it for a while, so it was at that fuzzy stage. And I just come up to me, he started feeling it. He's like, oh, it's a miracle. It does grow. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Don't get your hopes up. He's like, you have to grow it. No, I don't want to. Leave it out. And he's like, I said, should I trim this? He goes, no, you keep that.
So what you're saying is the top of your head looked like, when you meet a girl when she hasn't had a shave for about a week.
And again, we're starting off here. This is the tone of how we continue. Yep, there we go. Right, okay, cool.
And one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you're like, stubbly.
We don't know what that's like, mate.
Mr. Nathan, how are you finding lockdown with 2 under 2?
And over 29. It's been interesting, very interesting. Just obviously there's loads of places that you can't go to, so obviously you can go to parks for like soft play, which is my bane of my life. But anyway, maybe theme parks. Going shopping is like just me. That's it. There's no get the kids out for the day.
It's because your other half shielding, isn't she? So she can't.
Yeah. kind of high risk. So can't, been told don't do this, don't do that, don't set the bin out. Yeah, real tech.
Because you needed that as an excuse in the first place.
Yeah, so that's been interesting, and obviously then what my job's changed. So it's I'm now doing something different, but I'm spending more money to be safe, if that makes any sense. So rather than get on the train, I'm driving the car to somewhere and paying to park it just to stay on my own or be on my own. But it feels like the right thing to do. And touch wood, we've all been all right, so it must be working. But it's got to give up now, and it's been long enough.
It certainly feels that way, don't it? I mean, it's really difficult, ain't it, with the decisions you have to make, where finances almost don't really take into account at the moment, do they? Everything's been put on hold, and some things that you used to spend on, like, I know me and you enjoyed a good chicken shop in our day, where we don't at the moment. And but I assume petrol is a lot more expensive than fried chicken.
yeah, but it's probably a lot better for you than it is chicken. So and it's just, just taking each day it comes. F it. If the kids run out of something, just buy it. We'll do a bit later, because no point trying to muck about with it at the time being. Mate, just rolling along with it. Wake up, keep your routine: breakfast, lunch, dinner, naps. If you fancy it, a walk outside for nothing, but daily exercise.
You've got to go and take the trip over the park, haven't you? And it's all you can do at this time. So,
yeah. To the busy part.
You end up seeing, where everyone else is going. So you end up just sort of spreading anything around anyway.
Yeah. There you go. You go Tesco. You got to go shopping, but everyone else is down there. So
yep.
What can you do?
Just keep yourself safe. Just keep staying
away
from people. It's actually getting to a point now where I sort of get into the supermarket and somebody comes near me, like
like a cat.
If you approach me, I will punch you.
No, that I want to see.
I just wanted the cheese behind you. I don't care.
How about you, Mr. Smith?
To be fair, when you're talking about the supermarkets, the one thing that's one of mine is I love the fact that they keep playing an announcement and going, "Please maintain 2 meter distance." And you look down the aisle and you're like, if I was to maintain 2 meter distance, it would take me about 4 hours to get round.
Yeah.
And then you go and wait at a till, but the tills are back in the aisles, so people are walking past you anyway, and you're like, "This is just impossible."
I know.
But for me, it's. I found this lockdown harder than the past two in terms of, it was more, I think, it was the hope that they gave us at the end of last year, where they're like, "Oh, the vaccine's coming out," and you think, conservatives aren't gonna mess this one up. But I think it was that. But it's more for me. It's more when the noise ends. So it's after work or it's after just before you go to bed, you turn the TV off and it's just silence.
Yeah.
That's the one that gets me at the moment. But apart from that, it's been okay.
Probably more eerie for you because at the moment you're living in a town centre. You're living literally above a parade of shops. There should always be something around there, whether it's footfall traffic or whether it is actual just car traffic or whatever. It's not like what it is for. I don't know what it's like around your area, Nathan, but for me, it's rural. I mean, there are it's just houses. Everyone's staying in their house and doesn't. But the one thing I've noticed as well, they brought back the clap for heroes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I've not been taking part in it. I feel terrible for saying that, but the main reason why I'm not taking part in it is because if I step outside my house to do it, I am within 2 meters with my next door neighbour.
Okay.
So I can't physically do it I'd have to go out and go right out into the street. And
not go around.
I'm not being rude, but as a key worker, I don't want you to clap for me. I just don't want you to go out. Just stay at home if you can.
But in reality, I thought you'd open up the door and just go, praise me.
It's so weird. Across the road, there's a lady who's a nurse, and she goes. And the other day, I'm out there at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm de-icing the car because my car has now got a new thing where it has ice on the inside, so it takes even longer to de-ice the car. But I'm out there de-icing the car, and she's come out, and she from a distance turned around to me and said, "Good morning." Morning, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, "Oh, you off to work?" She said, "Yeah, I'm off to like a local hospital and things like that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go drive a truck. I'm a key worker."
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult what they defined as key worker. Key worker, I think, just meant labour supporter. Basically, you're on crap wages, being told what to do constantly. That's not your real job. And yeah, that's how they defined it.
The only reason why my industry is still going, I mean, you guys, you work for TfL, so you have to keep. I mean, to not use the turn of phrase, but to keep London moving. Whereas for me, I'm in the construction industry. I don't see why we need to keep, being open. The only things that construction-wise that need to be open is, say, for instance, if you've got gasworks or, if a water line goes down or a telephone line or whatever, I get that. That's not a problem. But I work for roofing merchants. Like, we deliver tiles to people's, houses. Roofers really shouldn't be working. They don't need to work. You don't need that kind of construction at the end of the day. Unless your house is literally going to fall down on your head. That's the only time that you. It's very rare that I get to a situation where it's like that. It's people who are, staying at home doing their work. They're just like, well, might as well get the roof redone.
I mean, that's one thing, ain't it? I mean, people can't move that. Well, they can move houses at the moment, but I suppose the whole thing about looking to buy for a house and stuff like that is completely on the back burner at the moment. So people have just gone, I'll extend, or I'll change, or I'll build, or I'll do something.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, me and you, we've moved since the lockdown, haven't we? Not in this lockdown, but I mean, I moved in the first one, or whatever it was, and you've moved in this recent one. Yeah, that was it. So you're capable of kind of doing it. It's such a strange situation of like going to view a place, or it's got to be done all on video, and you're not allowed to do face to face and things like that. So everything changes. Honestly, if we ever get back to normality, hopefully it will eventually happen. There's going to be so much that changes. I don't think we'll ever go to a supermarket again in the same manner that we used to. It will probably be similar to how it is now.
It's difficult, ain't it? It's difficult to predict what's going to happen. I mean, if you was to sit there and look at it and work out the way they do it, it's difficult because although you can sit there and look at normality, what it was, and what other countries will go back to, because I think Wuhan, there was a news article the other day where they're showing how they're pretty much back to where it was before that, but you can still see the masks, and that's the only real difference there. Yeah. But then in China, it's quite a common thing anyway to be wearing masks as normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like that.
The SARS outbreak.
Exactly.
Like that as well.
Yeah. The SARS outbreak. There was quite a few things that were similar to it, but yeah, they've always been like that. Whereas if I look at what our government's capable of, I imagine ours would go back to normal, simply because they wouldn't think of it that way. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, but I reckon they'll just push it back completely as normal as soon as they can.
I mean, you can tell that they can't wait to start packing out trains and stuff like that again. They want you to go out and spend your money, and they want you to, when they did the whole help out to, or eat out to help out kind of scheme and things like that, they want you to go out and spend that money. So it's there. Like they obviously want that to be a big thing as quickly as possible. But you know, it's a bit like you can't. We're just going to end up in another situation like this in, I don't know, 100 years time or whatever. You know, we had this about 100 years ago with, was it Spanish flu or something like that, just after the war, and then now we've got whatever the hell is going on. It's so weird. We're living in strange times.
Yeah, we definitely are. I think you go. It's not something I ever predicted. So speaking about strange times, though, one of us was due to get married.
Like he was. He was.
I'm going to bring this up because we were one day away. So one day before the third lockdown.
The first time was 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks the first time?
What?
The wedding. The first time was 2 weeks.
2 weeks away, yeah.
Yeah, first time was 2 weeks away. Then the second time was 24 hours.
8 hours. 12 hours.
12 hours, the second time. And then, yeah.
There is a very unhappy woman.
Well, that's a very unhappy man as well. It's such a shit situation that you found yourself in. We sat there just saying, so sorry.
Well, it's a hard one because it's like, it's all calmed down now. That was when did I get? So I was on furlough and I went back to work in September and reduced hours and built it back up. And you'll see everything seemed fine. Everyone was, people still getting infected, but they weren't dying as quick. So it's a case of, you know what, to try and spin this year around, let's do it. We've got the money there. Let's just, a small amount of people works for us. And then, managed to organise a wedding, 15 people, food, venue, somewhere to stay in under 6 weeks. And then, 2 weeks before it suddenly started to get bad again. But, as you said, you can't make people stay indoors. You can't hit them with a stick and say, don't do that. People can do what they want. And as a nation, we don't really listen. We've got a 60% know that it's bad. And there's no at least 1 or 2 people, maybe 3 or 4 people that have passed away from it. We all have at least, let's say, 6 or 7 people in a relatively close circle that have got it or had it.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse now. It's actually getting closer to home, because it's supposedly more effective or whatever it is. I actually forgot to mention this off air, but my sister-in-law's just been confirmed with it today. My half-brother, his wife, and his kids have all got it. They live up in Worcester. You know of people. Even like my boss's daughters had it. They've been recently infected, so he had to go and get a test and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it's getting closer to home, and I think that's the scary part. Nobody quite gets it and understands it, and like you said, you can't hit people with a stick to tell them to stay inside. I have a feeling it probably, if it doesn't improve, the people might actually start doing that.
Yeah.
It might actually come to a point where it's like a proper national lockdown of nothing. Nothing can be open. And I think that's the fear at the moment for everyone who is in our position more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean that's what should happen. I think. I mean, we've all had our own ideas, but the whole, you've paused it a few times. The whole 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, split your staff in half.
Yeah, it doesn't get us anywhere, and I think the inconsistency of rules. Like I was trying to explain this to somebody of just being like, so you can do this, but you can't do that. I mean, my son who's in nursery can go to school.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old nephew can't go to school. My son's 4, he's in nursery. My 8-year-old nephew can't. And yet I've also been past colleges that are going in. People are going into college and stuff like that. And you're like, are they open? Are they not open? Do you go there? Like, you've turned around and said, don't go to school. Well, how come, certain people can, but other people can't?
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Basically, the way I can say it is everything was locked down until Dominic Cummings messed up, and then until Priti Patel messed up, until other people messed up within the government. And to protect them, They went, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Which just caused another problem and then another problem and then another problem. It's going to get to the point now. I mean, even Boris going for a bike ride like 14 miles away or something like that. How that man can ride 40 miles, I don't know, because I can barely make it down the flight of stairs at the moment. But things like that is where they've gone, you cannot do this. They go and do it. And then they go, no, that's fine. What we meant is you can't. It's like with this 40-mile thing. They then had the police people pull over, fine 2 people for driving 5 miles to go for a walk. And like, no, you can walk 5 miles and be there, but you can't drive to there and then walk. And you're like, hang on a minute, 2 + 2 = 8 here. It's things like that. But the other thing that strikes me as well is where you say it feels closer to home. You lived in a home with 2 people who had it at the time, didn't you?
Me, yeah. It's yeah. I won't go into too many details. In all honesty, I think the at the time when it was brand new, because it was brand new, and the people who we were house sharing with were nurses. When it was announced that it had come into this country and people were beginning to get infected, we knew that they were going to get it. There was no 2 ways about it. Eventually, they were going to get it. The manner of which everything went down wasn't great between all parties, and that includes us, because we were scared. Like, this is brand new on the scene, and we were like, damn, we obviously can't go out and do anything. We obviously can't. We're trapped in one place. And even so, then we were like, do we have to go further and kind of be like, you have to stick to your own bedrooms and you can't do this, you can't do that. And looking back on it now, it's a bit more like, okay, we know a bit more about it. And the fact of the matter is that I probably had it while they had it.
Probably.
Before they found out that they had it, I was having beers with them, we were chilling and, just chatting, and we were within 2 meters of each other because we lived together.
Yeah.
So I probably had it, but I didn't know at the time, and I needed to take extra precautions. I also had, my kid at the time was 3, and how does it affect children and all that? And now we kind of know it's not as bad with kids, and they can go to nursery apparently, so it must be fine. But it was difficult. Nobody handled it well, but I think that was based on the fact that nobody understood what we were dealing with, including the people who were giving us advice.
Yeah.
So it was hard. It must be hard for anyone else who's in a similar situation. My biggest thing at the moment is that obviously if you are, we're like I said, we're all key workers. We go to work. Not everyone is. So most people are furloughed and stay at home. The people who are like that and who live by themselves, especially as like young men, like, okay, I say young men, we're over 30 now, but we're younger men. This is hard at the moment.
I mean, I'm glad you said we're younger men, because I feel really old at the moment. But yeah,
when you said you can't walk up and down the flight of stairs without getting out of breath, then yeah.
Honestly, I live on the 5th floor, and the elevator's broke for about a week and a half. I almost gave up going out the house. I mean, climbing up 5 flights of stairs, I was fine until I got to about the 3rd and a half floor, and I was like, I'm going to make camp here, and I'll make for the summit tomorrow. It was awful. It was awful. But sorry, going back to Nathan. In terms of when he was 12 hours away, as Gabby has established.
Yeah.
12, how much of an effect did it have on both of you during that time?
Oh, it was awful. Just something nice to be done. The place was all set up. My obviously Gabby, my mum and friend were actually there at the time when the conference was happening.
Wow.
Just finished putting the place up. I was at home with the kids, so kind of getting things together. Suitcase was packed, all that sort of stuff. So food, drinks, not food, but drinks and stuff. Devastating. Simply devastating. But in the same breath, it was like, well, it wouldn't happen if it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
If people wasn't dying at such a rate, and there's one strain, two strains, now they've got, what is it, the strains from Brazil and South Africa now are suddenly really bad, then we wouldn't be in this position. But look, it's better that no one turned up and no one got ill from it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. You know,
Oh,
worse happened.
I've got to ask you, what actually like happened on that sort of day, especially like the 12 hours day? Did you just find out through the news and then just have to cancel everything there and then, or were they calling you and saying?
So they announced it on the news, and as per usual, no one understands what they say because they speak in, tongues.
Yeah.
And everyone just came to a stop, really. All the catering firms, what have you, they can't really say anything. Eventually managed to get in contact with the venue and the conversations to and fro, but even then, at the time, they didn't know what to do because, what was it back then? Was it tiers back then?
They were in a different tier.
Yeah. So where the venue is in tier 2, so you can still go prancing and, Morris dancing. where we live it was tier 1 million, supposedly, in the west of the country. So you couldn't go out your front door. So in theory, we could still go there and get married and what have you. But what the real stickler was with the registrar, they couldn't confirm that everyone was from a tier 2 or tier 1 area.
Right.
So Essex County just decided just to stop everything, which was the right thing to do, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if someone's from where I am now, or East London, which is quite bad, and someone's from like Cornwall, which has nothing, then the risk is they're just going to pass it from the southeast to the west coast. So yeah, devastating is one word. But everyone's safe so far. No one's been unwell, touch wood, all that stuff. So we just keep rolling with it, book it for the end of the year, if we get to the end of the year. From there.
Don't write yourself off yet, mate. Jesus, we've already just started. We're getting to the end of January.
Yeah, but it just sounds, this is what I mean. It's been nearly a year with all this.
Yeah.
How much longer can it go on?
I mean, there's at least a little bit of hope on the horizon with the vaccine.
Yes, there is that. Yeah. Obviously, it's amazing that they built that so quickly, but it just, I don't know. If people have got to take it, obviously the elderly and people that got this high risk have to weigh it up and give it a go, really. They've got no choice.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully that nothing comes of it in 10 years' time. That's all I hope.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely get that. In terms of, I remember the night very well. In terms of when you found out the news that it wasn't going to go ahead. So I remember texting Gabby at the time. I'm sitting there and going, "What's going on? Is it still on?" and everything like that. So the government did this thing where they came out and made the announcement, and then didn't release any guidance to it. No, so I remember sitting there talking to her and trying to search on the government website, going, "What is going on?" And then particularly on weddings, and having that conversation with Gary, which wasn't nice in the first place, because obviously it's that difficult throw up where I've been telling you to get married for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And wanting to celebrate, the both of you and keep everyone safe at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a little slight dig there. It was a little slight, I told you so. Why didn't you do this sooner, kind of thing. I don't think he needs that right now. You're just kicking the man while he's down.
Is he any different? What's new? Consistent. Consistent. That's the thing. They settled that, and that was it. Yeah, conference over. Bye-bye. But it's like, right, so now what do we do? Mm-hmm. And it gradually comes out, if you're in a deathbed, or that was it. If you were dying, you could have some sort of ceremony, but that was it. Oh, okay, great. Well, I don't want to say I'm dying, because then no, my good luck. No, it's something dodgy. So, yeah. Positives will come. Positives are coming. That's what I can say.
I mean, to be fair, the one positive came through the other day. Oh, positive sounds like the wrong word at the moment, doesn't it? Some good news came through the other day in terms of Gabby's been offered the vaccine now, hasn't she?
Yeah. It's weird. It was a weird phone call.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm happy for her, but it's still weird, isn't it? Because she's in this high risk group, but she's fine physically at the moment. She's not frail at all, but just because of her condition, no one knows how her body will react. So, like, say if we get a cold, you plug yourself full of Lemsip or whatever shit, and you just crack on. Whereas she gets a cold and she's in bed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's not to go too much into her medical degree. It is because she's ginger, isn't it?
I wish we could change that, but no, it's not that. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
This is why we refer to you as the Jaffa Cakes. But
you're going to start upsetting so many people. You didn't want a YouTube audience, did you? You didn't want anyone to listen to our podcast, did you?
The way we always describe this is less than a podcast. It was more a chat with your friends down the pub, and that's the sort of thing you would say down the pub. And I've had a beer, and
he's feeling rowdy. He's looking for somebody to have a fight with. So, let's go, man. Just go on in. Yeah.
On that note, I haven't had a drink since probably November. I didn't drink over Christmas or New Year or anything like that. So I've now got the taste after having one. But yeah, I mean, it's good news on the vaccine for Gabby, obviously, and it's I mean, I've spoken to you about how it works and stuff like that, and you know, trying to make sure you're okay. It's good news for us because in terms of her safety and things like that.
Yeah.
How's she feeling about it?
I think nervous. I'd say nervous about it a little bit, but got to try something now at the moment. Like, what else are we left with?
Mm-hmm.
It's have a vaccine and no one goes out full stop. No one goes shop. No one goes work. No one goes.
You don't want to go out anyway, mate. They're all weird.
Well, you can talk. But yeah.
I'm out there at the moment. Don't want to come out. I'm gonna get you
with your lorry. I did a little bit of reading and it seems all right. I mean, just got to give it a go. There's no reason not to have it, really.
Mm-hmm.
No reason not to. So let's see. Let's happen.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you mean about, like I think I said both to you the other day, in terms of you all the weirdos are out. Like now that I literally live in the town centre, I live above a town centre. I never thought about it before, but obviously when I come out the shower and stuff like that, I have a little look out the window and stuff like that. I never thought about it before, walking through a town centre, that somebody could be stark bollock naked staring at you.
You see?
And it's changed my outlook on life completely. I now get dressed up wherever I go, just in case.
Stands there. No, he now just stands there at the window and look at me, world. I hold power over you. I'm a lurker.
Exactly. I mean, the one reason I get dressed up all the time is just in case there is a very attractive woman standing there at the window and goes, him, down there. I must go get him. I mean, you never know what might happen. It's a crazy world at the moment.
I've got to ask you both a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mixture of Christmas and lockdown. How bad were the gains? How much have we gained? I've got it bad.
I've lost.
Open it bit. You've lost.
I lost. So obviously from when we decided to get married, I got a suit and all that palaver. That never happened. I put in the wardrobe. Right. But from the start of lockdown, obviously there was the odd KFC, the odd Donald's, £200 weekly shops, blah blah, just to keep the place stocked up. So that was March, end of March. What's after March? April. There you go. And then get to
a random one at the end.
Get to middle of November. The suit's a bit big for me. I don't know how I've done that. I don't know how.
That's kind of impressive. Is it stress? You stress.
Kid.
You need a cuddle.
I'm sick of that cocoa melon. That is done my head in. So yeah, I don't know how. But I think I've gone sugar free on most things anyway. So apart from this one beer, but yeah, sugar is the devil.
Mm-hmm. It's weird you say that in terms of losing weight and stuff like that. Although you've ordered the odd takeaway, we would obviously go out and for our jobs, walking around the streets pretty much every day, it's very difficult to have sort of healthy meal and stuff like that. I'm not going to go to Tesco's and then go sit on a car bench in winter and stuff like that.
No.
Whereas now you're sort of forced to have the food that you have indoors, which isn't, you're not buying fried chicken to then cook and stuff like that. You want little ready meals and stuff like that, and a bit more healthy stuff. So it's probably worked out in a way, like it has for me technically, because I haven't ordered as much takeaway anymore. I'm not eating out every day and stuff like that.
I mean, again, it's a town centre. There are going to be places that are open, like fast food wise and stuff like that. It is literally on your doorstep. Okay, you've probably got a McDonald's about 5-10 minutes away from you. You've got all this kind of stuff, and also Just Eat is lethal. They must be making a killing at the moment with how much how many people are just sitting there ordering. I mean, so my partner's been furloughed, and she's at home all the time and she's cooking the wonderful meals and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to, not that I even ask her to do this, but I come home from work or whatever, and it's pretty much ready. It's like, bang, there you go, there's dinner kind of thing. But there is that odd occasion where I come home and she looks absolutely drained and shattered. It's just like, we'll just get a takeaway. And it's happening more. And that's, like I said, my gains have been like nearly a stone.
Wow, a stone.
Which for me is quite a lot. Well, definitely over the last year. Over the whole of last year, it's been a stone's worth of gain. But yeah.
So you haven't put on weight since 1998, have you?
Yeah. I mean, I was consistently losing for a while, so.
I mean, if anyone, we never really post pictures of us and stuff like that. But if anyone saw your ribs were like a xylophone at first.
It was sexy. I was going for the. I was going for the. No, it's the. It was the knockoff reject of Russell Brand on heroin.
I was thinking more Jack Skeleton or something like that, but.
Oh no, I had more hair back then. If I did it now, I'd look like Jack Skeleton.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, sorry. It's impressive considering how long we've known you. Oh, you're back on the stubbies.
Yeah, no, little dumpy beers.
How much of it actually do you think in terms of weight? What's the drinking consumption been like during the lockdown?
I'm not gonna lie, it's actually not that bad. I only got these because.
Is it not so bad for you, or is it not so bad for the average human?
I mean, Kieran, bless him, is not here at the moment. We've all poked a little bit of fun at him. We know that man has been having a couple of drinks and stuff like that. And I'm not even going to lie. I speak to my mum, who is a key worker still.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she works with a funeral directors. And yeah, so she's got a pretty rough end of the deal job kind of thing. And her alcohol consumption's gone up for a woman in 60. And they're like, Mum, this is the time you need to take care of yourself. She's like, just one more wine. Fine.
Bless her. Bless her. She's a lovely woman as well.
But the thing is, if I was that guy who was just at home all the time, who didn't, who was able to just work from his laptop and all that, I wouldn't get dressed. I would, I would probably have beers on tap and just be like, I'm just going to go and have another beer. Sod it. Mm-hmm. But I think the fact that I still go to work keeps me sane.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like you said, you probably wouldn't get dressed and stuff like that. So you have pulled together what looks to be a remarkably dressed outfit for this Zoom competition, haven't you?
You're going to pull me on this. You're actually going to pull me on this. You will catch me out.
What are you wearing on the bottoms?
Oh, and the bandwidth takes a hit.
I mean, the problem here is that he's stepped away and he's blocked the Wi-Fi. But yeah, we didn't get to see. But you are wearing pajama bottoms, aren't you?
They are pajama bottoms, yes. I mean, yeah. I got home earlier, and this is like, come on, let's just get into comfy clothes. And I was like, no, we're doing a thing. You know, I've got to look semi-presentable and all that kind of stuff. So got the comb out, the beard. Do you know what's even worse? I sat there, everyone's like, right, I have a spray, and I smell wonderful. You can't even smell me.
No, I can smell you from it. Usually it's the smell of manure, but you smell lovely tonight.
There's no need for that. It's not manure. It's hard working man sweat.
Man's wear. To be fair, it's usually food that's fallen out your gob and stuck in your beard. So.
Oh, hang on.
Smell of diesel.
Jelly. Bit of jelly.
Saving it for later, yeah. Have you ever considered storing anything in your beard? Just on a random aside. Have you ever thought of storing anything in there, like your wallet or your keys or anything?
I mean, I can put my whole hand behind it. So that's just completely gone.
That's a child's hand, though.
I think you're speaking to easy, Nathan. All right, I haven't started on you. I've been nice to you this evening. It's him. This is what he does. He plays people against each other. He does mind manipulation. No, I mean, yeah, might play it. Might get a bit of dwarven plait on it. Lord of the Rings. I mean, I am under 6 foot, so way under 6 foot. So I've got to look the part.
I mean, you'd be better off saying you're just over 5 foot rather than just under 6 foot.
No, I think I'm a clean 8 inches over 5 foot. Come on, now, yeah, let's be real about this. Yeah, I'm an average height. I'm a slightly under average height.
I'm an average height, slightly under average.
Yeah,
You're just pleased to say you're just pleased to say you're 8 inches in something, can't you?
Yeah, easy. All right, I got to ask you this as well. Is there anything weird that you found yourself getting into over lockdown, like with TV shows that you never thought you'd watch, or music that you're a bit like, oh, Jesus Christ, what is this? And then all of a sudden you're toe tapping away to it, or
I wonder where you're going with this, because it sounds like you've got into certain music that you didn't think you would do. So it's whether you've got into the Mr. Tumble music or something like that.
No. I mean, that meme of the 4 blokes singing the sea shanties really getting to me, but
Didn't I send you this song the other day as well?
What's that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I sent it going, because you like sea shanty music.
That's what I'm saying. I get it. I've gotten into it big time.
You once told me you set your alarm in the morning as Pirates of the Caribbean so that you could swashbuckle your way to work.
Well, there's no better way to wake up, is there?
It's all come out now, isn't it? It's all come out.
Yeah.
So that's why I sent you that. When here you go. You've got a new song to swashbuckle your way up in the morning.
Yep.
I knew you'd like it.
It's on my regularly listened.
Wow.
Don't shame me, just because I like the sea shanties.
I like to say, because the one thing I've gotten into during, I wouldn't say during the lockdown, but since COVID has started, it's been the painting by numbers. The great big canvas pictures.
Here we go.
Okay.
I didn't realise how long one takes about 30 hours to complete. I spend a good 6-7 hours a day on them, and I'm outside of work. I have something on in the background, like music or TV or something like that, and I will sit there and do that for the whole entire day. When Izzy's not around, when the little one,
when the little one's not around, because then she's like, "Can I have that painting?" And it's, "Oh, it's a lovely picture."
And I'm like, no, I'm 10 hours into this. Don't touch.
Outside the line.
Nathan, what have you got into?
What have I got into?
Strange hobbies, strange TV shows. Something that you weren't, not necessarily strange, but something you weren't into before.
So we tried to give The Crown on Netflix a go.
I heard everyone was talking about
Series 1, good. Series 2, it was good. Series 3, then it just kind of fell off because the Queen got a bit older and the cast changed.
Okay, yeah.
And it didn't really attract us anymore, so we've just stopped. So that's been binned. We've tried to start watching more TV together, even though it goes later to the evening, but we've got to kind of switch off, which is nice. So the recent one has been.
Podcast.
It looks like it is. I'm particularly too.
Sorry, what was that?
The recent one's been a program called Below Deck.
Oh, okay.
It's about a charter yacht in the Caribbean somewhere, and people can hire it for like 3 or 4 days cruises, and cameras follow the guests and the staff around.
Okay.
Well, yeah, see how they get the routine and the friction and what have you, the strange activities they've got to put on. And it's good. It is good. But the other half has a strong like for it. Is that kind of themed ahead? I did say, yeah, you can go watch it, but I didn't expect it to happen.
That's your downfall. That was your downfall.
Yeah.
You gave her permission.
Yeah.
Well, what you should have done is turn around and said, no.
Yeah.
You can't watch it without me.
Too nice.
I've got to admit, I'm actually struggling a little bit with things to watch. I mean, we've just we were watching Outlander for a while, which is one of those shows, like you said, it starts off really well, like the first couple of seasons really good, and then towards the end it really dips. And there's only 5 seasons on Amazon, and I've watched 4 of them. I just can't bring myself to watch the 5th one.
Yeah.
We did The Mandalorian and all that, which obviously I know you're not a Star Wars fan, but for us who are, it's amazing.
I'll get there.
You'll get there. You're making the Star Wars puns now in our little group chat, which is impressive.
Thank you.
We just finished the documentary about the Night Stalker serial killings, which is really good. But no, apart from that, we just keep going back to things like How I Met Your Mother or Friends or something that's a bit like, just put it on in the background and we just, I don't know, look at our phone or have a conversation or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Wow.
Apart from that, what is there anything that your partners have got you into over the time, or anything they want to do in particular that is completely?
Well, what is it? It's probably like the back end of last year and everything else. That my partner's got on TV, and again, it was like, what do you want to watch? You know what? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I just play games on my phone, or I've got, a Nintendo Switch. I could just sit there and just do whatever. If you want to watch whatever you want to watch, go for it. It's like, do you mind if I watch The Great British Bake Off? And I'm sitting there like, do what you like, you go for it. If you want to watch The Great British Bake Off, watch The Great British Bake Off. I'm sitting there, again, playing on the Switch, that kind of stuff. 2 episodes later, I'm screaming at the TV. How can he have been voted off? He was crap. He was brilliant. He had a soggy bottom. Oh, he got the Hollywood handshake. And you sit there like, oh, what's happened to me? I mean, the baking and pastry.
We've lost him. That's it. He's gone now. We've lost him.
Yeah, that's it. That's you, Dan. I mean, I've never got into. I'm not a big fan of reality shows and stuff like that, or anything like that, or competition shows, or I lose interest very quickly. I mean, the one person that's not here, Kieran, has quite obviously been talking to us about the pottery show.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch it.
I know, and in fairness, considering the fact that I've just a bit into getting really into Bake Off, somehow that seems like a bit of a step down.
I mean, we all like it.
Why. Yeah, that's the way that I look at it. I'm interested in the food. I'm interested in what is served in. It's great to be on a plate.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fat in it for an hour program for a proxy cake.
Nathan, has Gabby got you into anything, or has she taken up any weird and wonderful hobbies?
Just
She has started a new business though, hasn't she? At least.
well, yeah. So like selling makeup, so it's good. It keeps the mind ticking over, and earn a couple of coins to build it up, which is good. It's good. It's nice to see, and it makes you feel proud.
Yeah.
We said about the programs already, but other than that, it's just been survive and don't throw the kids out the window. One of them, the 3-year-old was asking, "I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that." So okay, great, and then you get to 11 o'clock, you've done everything.
Yeah.
So it's just been, just rolling along with it. Literally rolling along with it. TV hasn't really changed, has it? Because no one can really film. Yeah, man, it's not much to report. Just literally getting through. Put shit on the TV. It's on, but it's not going in. It's like, I don't know. It's weird times. I don't know what to say. It's weird, just beyond weird times at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult because obviously when we're the podcast is about mental health, ain't it? And you offer the support, and some of the things we want to talk about is some things that we do and some things that get us through how we feel about it and stuff like that. But it's very hard because the moment someone goes to have that sort of conversation with you in mental health, it's very weird when you're in the same boat as them. So for us now, it's very hard when they go, "How's lockdown?" The response is the same. It's shit, ain't it? And that's just how it is at the moment. It's very difficult when you're trying to have these conversations with people and I've got nothing to offer you. It's shit. It's really shit.
I mean, the thing is that we've always got a way of kind of like how to deal with all that. We all have our own little different takes and how we get around. For us, it's quite good because we've got family. I've got my partner and my kid, and Nathan's got his partner and, from what sounds of it, 2 gremlins. And Paul, you're seeing your daughter regularly as well, and you'll get to see them, and then you're still speaking to your mum and everyone else. So, but for people who genuinely just don't have anything, it must be so difficult. And there's tricks that we use to keep ourselves sane. I regularly, I'm quite lucky in my job where it's like I sit in a cab, which is pretty much by myself all day. So I do get my alone time. And I think that's key, especially in, Nathan, in your environment, it sounds like you don't get alone time.
I do, like, other half son does a bit of running. Then I get out for an hour or so in the car with or do the shopping and that sort of stuff. Just try and keep it simple, As I say, I can't imagine someone that lives alone. Can't imagine.
But that little time just to turn around and find something like when you are alone, what do you do? What's the first thing that you do? Like for me, I watch an awful lot of YouTube, like to the point where it just eats through my data like no one's business. But it's different things, different games that I like, or it might be something about sports, or it might be and it's slowly like branching out to different things, to the weirdest of things as well. Like I've got no interest in art. I can't draw. Like you were saying, like paint by numbers and things like that. I couldn't imagine doing that. However, I've actually started following a group of artists, and they do like caricatures and all that kind of stuff. But they set each other challenges, and they're talking over the top of it and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's brilliant. It's nothing that I would have ever thought about, but it's something that it's keeping me going when I am alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell you what, the one thing that did strike me the other day is so obviously living alone at the moment, and for when Izzy's not there, obviously I'll have the news on in the background and stuff like that. And the one thing it reminded me of is I remember my nan when she used to live by herself, obviously because the partner passed away, and it was when family came over and stuff like that. And she used to have what she called the wireless at the time, so she had the radio on and just listen to it. And she said to me, "Oh yeah, it's just nice to feel like somebody's having a conversation in the house and stuff like that." Yeah. And as a kid, obviously, you don't think too much of it. Now I completely get it. It's like I said, the difficulty is when the noise ends. So it's when there's conversations going on and stuff like that. Like I'll listen to political analysis and news and stuff like that just for the day. Not so much take it in, although to be fair, I get interested in some bits. But it's just nice to have a voice in the background. And when you say, well, what do you do the moment you got to see your time to yourself and stuff like that? This is where the pain by numbers is coming. Saints preoccupy the mind. I really thought I mean, I've got about 10, 15 games that I need to complete on the Xbox, and I haven't really turned it on.
No.
I know, but yeah, it's just strange. I
get that completely. Like I rarely get an opportunity to play video games, just by myself. I mean, when I do, like I said, if there's something that the missus wants to watch on TV, then crack on. I don't really want to watch anything. Then I will sit there and play a game. But it's all about sort of getting out of that habit. I've got games that I really want to complete. I still haven't even touched them. I've gone to something else, or that still sits on the back burner. And it's even little things like my car, for instance. There's little jobs that I need to do on my car. To be honest with you, it runs.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I was sitting there on a Sunday, just like, do you know what? I'm gonna go and do all that. I'm gonna go and get it clean. I'm gonna go and do all this. And the second that I walked out there with a Hoover, I've got like a cordless one with a charge on a battery. I was sitting there I'll Hoover up, guys. Within about 2 minutes, the battery had died. And I was just like, this is a great start. This is obviously an omen of me sitting there like, I don't really want to do this. I'm just going to put that down. I'm just going to stop doing what I'm doing and just go back to something else.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easily done, ain't it? It's so easily done.
What about you, Nathan? When you said you go or you're out and about and you're by yourself and all that kind of stuff, what are you listening to? You must have like a car radio on and all that kind of stuff.
You know what? I don't often listen to the radio unless I've left my phone at home, or I forgot to turn the Bluetooth on. Often that it's actually listening to Toy Story soundtracks. Obviously, there's someone else dictating what I do. But actually, I picked back up my RC car hobby actually, which I used to do a lot when I was younger. And being at home, and then I'd go out, I'd walk with family and stuff while it's still good weather. It's got to a point I was like, you know what? I had a bit of coins left over, let me just pick it back up. And that's been all right so far. I mean, the local gym has a massive car park, so that's been closed, obviously. Been going over there in the evening, an hour or so. And that's been all right. It's been nice to kind of, tinker with something, every now and again. Obviously, I don't get out when the kids are awake because it'll be, oh, Dad, can I this? Or the youngest one. But other than that, actually, I've been doing that the past 6 weeks. I haven't really kind of kept it to myself because it's something that kind of just keeps my mind rolling along. But
that's what I mean. Like, it's the thing that you first turn to when you are like, when you get that opportunity to yourself, when you're like, actually, I'm going to go and try and do this. I'm going to try and do that.
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said, I pretty much just watch YouTube. It sounds sad, but so many different things that I'm like, I actually started, thinking to myself, something that I would want to do. Do I want to go out there and do that kind of thing? And like you said, tinker and make my own content and all that kind of stuff. So, Paul picking up picking up an art brush and trying to painting and things like that. That to me, I'm not that's alien to me, but so is tinkering with RC cars. But I don't, I wouldn't think to go and do it. But that's not necessarily wrong for you to go and do it. That's excellent advice to go and sit there and try and be like, this is something that I used to do as a kid. This is something that I used to do, and try and get back into it. It takes your mind back to a point where you were at your most happiest. It's why I play certain video games, or I watch certain things, because I'm like, that takes me back to being, to a time where I can remember really well.
I do think that's one of the best part of tonight actually is to if there's something you used to enjoy or there's something you really like, give it a go.
Yeah.
Budget, like what is it? There's nothing to lose at the moment because most of us are indoors or we're working, but like our work's been reduced or it's a different medium or whatever. So we've got a few more hours at home. Give it a go. Budget, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Because not that we're going loopy indoors, but we feel like we're just, in a can being shaken up. So fortunately, we have each other. We have.
There's only so much you can throw into, with your kids and things like that.
Yeah.
When my kids awake, I put every waking hour into Isaac, and same as you do with your two. Whenever you've got, Izzy, you're exactly the same. It's like we're doing this together, we're doing that together. We're going to go and do this. We're going to go and do that kind of thing. Like my kids constantly like, let's get the toys out. We're going to play and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't got the opportunity to step away and go and do my own thing. So in the times when he's in bed or when he's not around or when he's gone to nursery or whatever, that's my time. And that's when you've got to work out, how do I manage this time? What do I do? And getting a hobby is the best way to do it. What hobby is completely up to whoever you are as a person, but finding something from your past is brilliant. Like you said, you've got nothing to lose. It doesn't even matter if you look like a twonk. You're sitting there like, well, why would I collect Pokemon cards again? Or why would I go and, do this or whatever? And you're like, why wouldn't you at the moment? Society doesn't care,
Yeah. It's all sort of a form of escapism, isn't it? At the moment, it's to set the mind on something can just escape from what's really going on. Personally, I'd like to set you a challenge, Mr. Luke. So obviously you're talking about yes, the long bearded one. Right, where you was talking about you watch caricatures and stuff like that, and you used to collect Pokemon trading cards and stuff like that. I think we should set each other a challenge, and I want to set you a challenge. See if you can draw the first 150 Pokemon.
Oh Jesus H Christ! Leave it out, mate.
No. Go on. Between now and next one, just some bits of paper, just little drawings. Do each Pokemon up to the first 150, because there's like 700 now, and that's a bit obscure, but. The first 150 Pokemon.
I'll do the first 9.
No, first 150.
Come on.
First 12.
Jesus Christ, I ain't got time for that. Nobody's got time for that. You do know as well.
If you've got time for it.
You know how I'm going to get around this?
How?
Well, you know how. Well, no, you know how my partner used to be a tattoo artist.
Let's be honest, I'm going to be able to tell the difference between Bronte's drawing and your drawing.
No. Okay, so I've got my homework. So what's Nathan's?
Nathan, you can tell us Nathan's. Nathan's
I don't know. Smile more, fatter fingers.
And yeah. What were you set for Nathan? I mean, there's plenty of that. You could take the Christmas lights down.
They're actually a permanent feature. They're not Christmas lights, they're mood lighting. Oh, wait, no, wait, look, you watch this.
Bow chicka wow wow.
I was saying watch this, bearing in mind it's a podcast, but I can confirm.
That's nice.
Are you saying are they actually mood lights or is it a dimmer?
So
he's actually just turned the dimmer on the main light.
He's just turned the light down.
No, what it is? Obviously you have lights on most of the day, but when it comes to the evening and you're watching TV, you don't always want a bright light on. So
yes.
Just got a set of lights around the room, and they obviously can flash in 10 million different ways. And it's just nice and evening. Something different. Why not? Nice and cozy. I hate Christmas, but Christmas fine.
Hate Christmas.
I know what you should do. Nathan, between now and the next podcast, I think you should watch all the Star Wars films.
Oh, fuck me.
considering you still haven't seen them. And between now and then, you should watch all the Star Wars films.
I've seen 2 or 3.
2 or 3, well, there's 9. 10.
Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'll give it a go.
I think you got to give him the 9. You know, asking him to go and do the extra homework for the Rogue One and for Han Solo.
I've seen Rogue One.
Rogue One's actually one of the best ones.
It's good. That was good.
Brilliant.
I like that.
But there we go. There we go. So that's so you're drawing Pokemon and he's watching Star Wars. Sorted.
Okay.
You're gonna have to, Paul, come write a song based on the 2 things that we're doing.
No pressure.
No pressure. No problem. I'll go for it. Do you want me to even write the guitar chords to go with it?
Yeah. I want it performed. I want it performed on the day.
Oh, we did it. Show and tell. Dadnamic episode 12. Show and tell.
I mean, you can. You know, you can pre-record something. You can play around with it. Who cares? But you know, you've got to be able to show us something, whether it even be a little video or whatever. You've got to come up with the whole thing.
Fine, but you know, by telling me to do this, because you know I used to write songs when I was younger anyway. So
I do. That's why I threw it down. Yeah.
So yeah, considering you've now set me a task, you realise you've accepted that you're going to have to draw 150 Pokemon.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to sit there and think, when the fuck am I going to get time to do this? It's going to be really weird when I'm sitting there in the yard with all these big builder men and I can't sitting there trying to draw it. Oh look, what are you up to? Can you just move the truck? Can't, mate. Peek to.
I'm on music. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, if I've got that far, I'll be happy.
For the last part. Now, the way we used to do these shows, we asked a question at the end. One question. So I think on the last one, or one of the last ones, was if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? But for this one, if you could open one place to go back to normal, and only one place, where would you pick?
God, that's a question and a half, man.
Back to normal.
Yeah, completely back to normal. Back as it was back, say, 2 years ago. If you could open just one place, where would it be? And everything's back to normal. You can't catch COVID there. It's just your little sanctuary. It's as it was. So not everyone's going to flock there. It's as it was.
This is going to sound really sad. There's a museum that is out towards Tring that we used to take my little one to. Free entry, natural history museum, and he would love going there. And all you'd have to do is just pay for petrol, and just to have that, just as a change of pace, so that you could take him there like 2-3 times a week, and he would find something new there, and he would really enjoy it. So I'd probably say that, in all honesty, just to have that change of scenery just for him.
Nice. Good, Mr. Nathan.
You know what? You know what? Any restaurant, anything like a Pizza Hut, because we used to so like even regards to like shopping, so we used to make it a day. Both kids go out, go shopping. Mm-hmm. Then after done it, we'd go to Pizza Hut. They would have ice cream, a meal, whatever. Then we go home, we'll run and go home. Can't do that now.
No.
And it's just a nice day out. It didn't break the bank.
They are still open. You can get it ordered to you.
Yeah, but I mean, dickhead. But but, you know, to not have the washing up, you know, and to go somewhere else and just sit down, let the kids see other kids, interact with the staff. Yeah, it's like as simple as that. Just a little day out for family. That was normal back then. We used to do it every week. Now it's well, not that at all.
Yeah,
I
get it. Oh, I mean, generally in terms of I get where he's gone with restaurants because I used to love, you know, the one down in the village and stuff like that. It used to have a nice
Dirty
pub.
chicken shop.
Yeah, you would have a cup of tea and stuff like that, and you'd have a nice lunch. I think if I was picking the situation we're in now, I think I'd pick the pub we usually go to, just so you could, you know, you open there,
That's a
you could
good
go
shout.
back to seeing people, you could have the cigarettes outside, just a few drinks.
Yeah.
Then you'd end up in a
Push
play 3 o'clock in the morning, and God knows what else.
That's only happened a few times, mate. You know, we're too old to do that now.
No, I know. You know, for people who don't know about this, the fact that it was after the first lockdown, wasn't it? And we went, well, the pubs are back open. We're not going to go crazy. You know, we'll go there, we'll have a nice few drinks, and we'll just chill out, and we'll have a nice early night.
Yeah.
And then before we knew it, we hadn't been out in a while, we hadn't drunk for a while, and the pub was closing. So we, smart as it was, we'll carry on the night. And
Yeah, I actually know whose fault this was, by the way, because I remember.
Whose fault was it?
I'm not going to tell you.
So it's not mine.
I remember who it was that basically put us into the situation where we were like, oh, it's closing. Let's go and jump on a kids' play park. at nearly 30 years old at like 3 a.m. We were
like, no name.
Yeah, my foot still hurt the next day. Well, where we decided, so yeah, going off on the tangent here, but where we decided to climb up the slide, and I thought it'd be fun to do a roly-poly down there. I smashed my foot on the side of a steel slide. Yeah, we're definitely too old for this now.
I'd like to point out that it was you and Kieran that were jumping all over it while I was stood there like a dad, just holding jackets. But I was goading you on more than anything else. I was like, oh, what about this over here? What that?
Mm-hmm.
Go on that one.
You think we'll learn for next time?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, on that note, it's been absolutely wonderful getting back together again to get the podcast going. So you can follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on all the normal social medias at Dadnamic, Dadnamic, available on all good podcast receivers. I think because we've put this one on Zoom, we'll be able to put this one on YouTube as well. And then yes, it's been wonderful to get back together again, hasn't it? So thank you very much, Mr. Luke.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you very much, Mr. Jappercake.
Anytime, any place.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
That's him offering you out, by the way. After all the little jokes and things like that, anytime, any place, let's go.
Okay, all you've got to do is point, and I'll see it. It'll start touching the window. I just get the finger, tap on the window, and then a text going, "You."
You know what? When you're looking at people from naked, you know, down to the town centre, they know now. People know. People know now. That's it. It's out there. People know.
Yeah, we never said what town centre. Perfect. Thank you very much for a wonderful conversation, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Take care. Cheers, guys.